Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we are tackling a massive question from Topic 3, Unit 5 of your Development Geography course. It's a big one. When a country is struggling, can you really solve its problems just by, giving it money? We're going to dive deep into development aid, break down what it is, how it's supposed to work, and figure out if it's a helping hand or maybe something else entirely. So let's just get right to the heart of it. This is the question that's going to guide us through everything today. Can cash, on its own, fix a country's deepest problems? I mean, on the surface, it sounds simple, right? But believe me, the answer is so much more complicated, and honestly, that's what makes this whole topic so incredibly interesting. Okay, so before we can even begin to answer that, we've got to be on the same page. We need to know what we're actually talking about. So first things first, what even is development aid? Let's peel back the layers and look at what it's supposed to be versus what it sometimes ends up being. Right, here's the official definition. Now, if there's one thing I want you to pull from this, it's that phrase, long-term, okay? This isn't about dropping off supplies after an earthquake and then leaving. No. Development aid is the marathon, not the sprint. It's meant to build the foundations, the roads, the schools, the systems that a country needs to stand on its own feet for years to come. And this brings us to a super important point that a lot of people mix up. You have to know the difference between development aid and humanitarian aid. Think of it like this. Humanitarian aid is the firefighter. They rush in during an emergency to put out the fire, providing food, water, and shelter. But development aid? That's the architect and the construction crew who come in after the fire is out. Their job is to rebuild the house, maybe make it stronger, and make sure it can withstand future problems. Two very different jobs. So where does this money actually come from? It's not like there's one giant bank account for foreign aid. The money actually flows through four main channels, and you really need to know who's giving it and how they're giving it to understand the impact it has on the ground. Let's do a quick run-through. First up, you've got bilateral aid. That's just one-on-one, government to government. Simple. Then there's multilateral aid. This is when a bunch of countries pull their money together and give it to big organizations like the UN or the World Bank to hand out. Third is conditional aid. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's aid with strings attached. A country has to do something, like make political reforms, to get the cash. And finally, you have NGOs, non-governmental organizations. These are charities funded by people like you and me running smaller, local projects. All right, and this is where it gets really interesting. This brings us to the great aid debate. After all these years, with literally trillions of dollars spent, does any of it actually work? Is it really helping? Or could it, just maybe, be making things worse? Now, listen to this quote. It gets right to the uncomfortable truth at the center of this debate. The argument here is that instead of sparking growth, huge amounts of aid have actually slowed down progress. Why? Because it can create what's called a dependency trap, where countries get so used to receiving aid, they stop trying to find their own solutions. It's a powerful and pretty worrying idea. So you can really think of foreign aid as having two faces, kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. On the one hand, when it works, it's amazing. It builds skills, it funds clean water projects, it creates jobs. But when it fails, it can be a disaster. It can make a country dependent. It can destroy local businesses. I mean, why would anyone buy local grain when foreign grain is being given away for free? And worst of all, sometimes the money gets stolen by corrupt leaders and never even reaches the people who need it. It is a massive double-edged sword. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's talk about what's actually happened out there in the real world. Because the history of development aid is a wild ride of incredible success stories and, sadly, some pretty spectacular failures. And looking at these examples is really the only way to get a feel for what's going on. And wow, this slide really shows you the divide. You've got these amazing poster children for aid, like South Korea and Botswana, where it seems to have played a huge part in their success. But then you look at the other list, it's so much longer. For so many countries, decades of aid haven't led to the kind of growth everyone hoped for. And that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? What was different in the places where it worked? Was it the government, the type of aid, just pure luck? That's what people have been arguing about for years. So where does all this leave us? What's the big takeaway here? Well, if there's one thing that's crystal clear, it's that development aid is not some kind of magic wand you can just wave to fix poverty. It's complicated, it's messy, and the future depends on us understanding all those tricky details. And that really brings us to the core idea. the paradox of aid. It has the power to do incredible good, but it also has the power to do real harm. And the deciding factor often isn't the money itself. It's all about the context. It's about how it's given, who it's given to, and how it's used. The success stories almost always involve good local leadership and aid that actually listens to the needs of the community. So, I'm going to leave you with a final thought to chew on. If the very same tool can be used to build a nation up or unintentionally help break it down, what's the answer? Do we need smarter aid? Maybe less aid? Or do we need to throw out the whole idea and start over with something new? There's no easy answer here, and that's exactly why it's so important for you to think critically about it. Whew, okay, I really hope this explainer helped you get your head around the super complex world of development aid. If it helped clear things up for you, do me a favor and share it with a classmate who's also trying to figure this stuff out. And for more explainers just like this one, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow Mr. Chi on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.